Hi, and welcome back. I'm Sofia. Today's topic sits at the intersection of love and helplessness, two feelings that are very difficult to hold at the same time. Today we are talking about what it means to love someone who has a problem with alcohol. Not the person who occasionally drinks too much, but the partner whose drinking has become the third presence in your relationship. The thing that changes them. The thing that changes you. The thing you spend more and more energy managing, hiding, or waiting out. I want to say something clearly before we begin. Loving someone with an alcohol problem does not make you weak. Staying does not make you foolish. And leaving does not make you heartless. What it makes you is human, navigating one of the most painful and complicated situations a relationship can face. Today, 5 people wrote to me about exactly this. Let's get into it. Now, let's read Lisa's message. Lisa is 33, writing to us from Warsaw, Poland. Sofia, my husband drinks every evening. At first, it was a glass or two. Now, it is most of the bottle. When he drinks, he becomes cold, critical, sometimes cruel. But in the morning, he is the man I married. I don't know which version of him is real. Lisa, both versions are real. That is the painful truth. The man in the morning is not a performance, and the man in the evening is not an imposter. They are both him. And that is precisely what makes this so disorienting, because you cannot simply choose to love one and reject the other. He comes as a whole person, and you love the whole person. That is not your weakness, that is your love. But the morning version is not evidence that the drinking is fine. It is evidence that he is capable of being who you need him to be, and that alcohol is standing between him and that possibility every evening. What you are living with is a dependency that is growing. And dependencies do not stay the same. They escalate. The question is not which version of him is real. The question is, how long are you willing to wait for the version you love to become the consistent one? Now let's read Keiko's message. Keiko is 29, writing to us from Seoul, South Korea. Sofia, my boyfriend drinks heavily every weekend. He says everyone does it and I am being too sensitive. But I dread the weekends now. I feel anxious all week waiting for Friday. Is something wrong? Keiko, dreading the weekends. Feeling anxious all week waiting for Friday. I want you to hear how those words sound, because they are telling you something very important. Your body has been trained to brace for what is coming. That is not oversensitivity. That is your nervous system responding to a pattern it has learned to fear. And that is a significant cost. Your boyfriend saying everyone does it is one of the most common minimizations in this conversation. But the question is not what everyone else does. The question is what his drinking does to you, to your peace, your safety, your ability to enjoy your own life. If the answer is anxiety every week and dread of the weekends, then something is very wrong, regardless of what everyone else does. Now, let's read Marcus's message. Marcus is 41, writing to us from Nairobi, Kenya. Sofia, I discovered my wife has been hiding bottles around our home. When I confronted her, she denied it, then cried, then promised to stop. That was 3 months ago. The hiding has just become more careful. I feel completely alone in this marriage. Marcus. The discovery. The denial. The promise. The relapse. And now knowing and having to pretend not to know. What you are carrying is enormous. You cannot love someone into sobriety. You cannot find all the bottles. You cannot watch carefully enough or care hard enough to fix this alone. What your wife needs is professional support, not because she is a bad person, but because what she is fighting is larger than willpower and larger than love. And Marcus, you need support too. Al-Anon exists specifically for partners and family members in this situation. It will not fix her. But it will remind you that you did not cause this, you cannot control it, and you cannot cure it. Now let's read Elena's message. Elena is 35, writing to us from Athens, Greece. Sofia, my partner refuses to admit he has a drinking problem. He says I'm exaggerating. Every time I try to have this conversation, he turns it around and makes me feel like the problem. How do I get through to him? Elena, the honest answer is, you may not be able to. Not right now, not alone. When someone is deep inside a dependency, denial is not a choice, it is a symptom. He is not lying to hurt you. He may genuinely not be able to see what you see. What I want you to notice is that every conversation ends with you feeling like the problem. That is exhausting. It means every time you address the real issue, you leave defending yourself instead. Over time, that wears you down until you stop raising it at all. You cannot argue someone into recognizing their dependency, but you can stop absorbing the blame for it, and you can make clear, calmly, with love, what you are and are not willing to continue living with. And now, let's read our final message. This one is from Sara. Sara is 38, from Montreal, Canada. Sofia, I have spent 5 years loving a man with a drinking problem. He has been to rehab twice. He relapses. I stay. I have started to wonder if I'm enabling him by never leaving. Am I? Sara? 5 years, 2 rounds of rehab. And you are still asking? Am I the problem? I want you to sit with how much that question costs you. You did not give him this problem. And loving someone through relapse is not the same as causing it. But here is the honest truth. Staying without conditions is different from staying with them. If there are no consequences, the relationship continues unchanged regardless of what he does. And that absence of consequences can quietly become part of the pattern. The question is not whether you love him. You clearly do. The question is, what does staying cost you? And are you choosing that cost fully and consciously? Or is it simply happening to you while you wait? You deserve to make that choice with open eyes, Sara. Whatever you decide, 5 messages today. 5 people loving someone who is also loving something else, something that takes more than it gives, and ask those around it to simply absorb the cost. You cannot fix this for them. You cannot love them sober. What you can do is be honest with them and with yourself about what you are living with and what you need. Loving someone with a drinking problem is not a character flaw, but staying silent, shrinking around it, building your life around managing it, that has a cost. And you deserve to count it. Clearly. Honestly. What topic do you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments. If today meant something to you, please like this video and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Sofia. Take care of your heart. Loving someone with a drinking problem is one of the loneliest things a person can carry. Because from the outside, everything can look fine. The house looks normal. The relationship looks intact. But you know what happens behind closed doors. You know the version of them that only you see. And you have been carrying that knowledge, often alone, often in silence, for longer than you should have had to. You deserve to be honest about what you know, starting with yourself.